Alright, before we start today's video, if you guys are interested in joining a free Discord, my community link will be in the description down below. As you guys can see, we have a trading chat. We're always talking about trades. We're always going over our trades. People are always asking me questions. I'm always helping them out. They're sending me private DMs. I'm always helping them out. I explain my model exactly. There's a crypto chat as well. There's always a question tabs of what questions you guys may have about anything related to trading, off topic. I'm always uploading my new uploads to channels, and we have our charting sessions that are privately made for them. So whenever we have charting sessions, I record them and I put them in the chat for you guys. And we also have the voice chats, and we have a bunch of stuff. And if you guys want to join, just a free community, just want to join and ask questions or to be around people that have the same mindset as you, the link will be down in the description. So, all right, guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another banger. In today's video, I'm going to be going over exactly why you guys are failing as traders, why you guys aren't seeing that consistency you guys desire of, and I'm going to be explaining to you guys because this was a big part of my journey that made me help see consistency and taking profits out of the market. And I can almost guarantee you that this is a huge problem of yours. And I'm going to be explaining as best as I can to you guys why this will genuinely help your trading. If there's one thing I took away from seeing seeing my biggest aha moment in the market that made me see more consistency was definitely knowing when to step away. And this past month has been a huge, great example of a test for those who claim to be profitable and to those who are truly profitable, right? This whole month was a test, a great test to basically show you, do you have the discipline to know when to step away, when to realize price action is clear or not, and are you disciplined enough to just step off the charts when you recognize that? Because that's, for me at least, that was the biggest make or break when uh when I finally found consistency, was knowing when to step away. And this past month, I've only taken 2 or 3 trades. I and I'm fine with that because I recognize that I'm in a long-term mindset. I'm not focused on my weekly profits or my monthly profits. I'm just focused on I'm not focused on the money at the end of the day either, because I know if I consistently take my setup, if I consistently discipline myself to only take clear setups where there's a clear drawn liquidity and I'm confident where the market's going, then I know I'll make money in the long term. No matter if I have a week or two losing streak. I know, because if I have good risk management and I'm confident in my model taking only A plus setups, I know in the long run my wins are going to eat that up and make a hell of a profit. So we have to get out of this short-term mindset and we have to recognize when to step away. So this right here, this is what I focus on. Whenever I come into the market, I'm focusing on these things right here to tell me if PA is even good enough to trade. So how do I know if PA is bad? And this is what I personally look at to see if it's clear, if it's even worth trading that day before going into market open, right? Or if by 10 a.m., if it's doing this, then I'm expecting a bad day. So if there's an unclear drawn liquidity, what do I mean by that? If there's an unclear drawn liquidity, if I don't see a clear draw, like if price looks like it's reaching for buy side, but it could also reach for sell side because there's both factors that I could have a bearish bias or I could have a bullish bias, and there's a lot of conviction for both, I'll just step away because that's not clear to me. I don't want to take a trade knowing that in the back of my mind that there's a clear setup for shorts or there's a clear setup for longs right now. I want to step away when I want to come into the market when I'm looking at the charts and I tell myself, wow, there's no way I could be short right now. The only way if I take a trade is I have to be long because price is telling me that. Everything in price is telling me that we're long. So you want to have that strong conviction. You want to have that strong bias inside of you and on the charts telling you uh, where you think market's going to go. And that's the most important part uh, before even thinking about taking a trade. So unclear drawn liquidity, both sided PD arrays getting invalidated. So basically kind of like consolidation. If you're seeing bullish and bearish for value gaps constantly getting ran through up and down, that's a sign that there's no clear order flow in the market. It's not presenting itself, and that's how you know when it's kind of clear just to step away. Not for the day, but maybe just for that session, maybe just for the AM session, come back in the PM, or just step away. Do not touch the markets. So the next thing is no higher time frame displacement or lower time frame displacement. Displacement, I'm always looking for displacement on the higher time frame for a bias and on the lower time frame as well, because displacement obviously shows you where the market obviously wants to go. That's the market telling you, showing its hand to you where it wants to go. Displacement above highs or lows, changing the states, all that, invalidation of fair value gaps. That's all context clues of where market is wanting to tell you where it wants to go. So always keep an eye for displacement. If there's no displacement on the higher time frame or lower time frame happening, then just do not step away. That's a clear indication that there's no volatility in the market. And this next one kind of leads to that. This next point kind of goes back to the displacement one. So no news days. This is the last one. No news days. I've recently brought up to my community that I do not want to trade no news days. So I only want to trade red folder news days. So for those who are new, red folder news days are you can look it up on forexfactory.com. There's certain news that gets released about the markets that have basically big a big part of it, and it's an influx on volatility in the market that it adds to it. So, for instance, if there's no red folder news, then I do not want to trade, because when there's red folder news in the market, especially a lot of red folder news, I'm expecting a lot of volatility. I'm expecting some nice expansion moves to happen, and I want to be there when that happens. I don't want to be in the market when there's like no news or like yellow folder news, because I'm not expecting expansion moves to happen that day. I'm just expecting slower price action. Red folder news days are it's more volatile. There's more cleaner moves to happen. Displacement, like we talked about, displacement, and on the higher time frame and the lower time frame. And I want to be on the most. If I, as a trader, this is how I think about it. If I, as a trader, want to trade in the best conditions, if I want to trade when there's going to be the cleanest setups, and then I want to trade when there's the most volatility, when the cleaner moves are happening, right? Well, that's going to be on red folder days most likely. There's clean days on yellow folder, or maybe sometimes every once in a while, no news Mondays, but most of the time the cleaner moves are going to happen on red folder news days. And so uh, that's what I primarily focus on, and that's one of the reasons how I can expect that there's going to be bad price action is if there's no news on that certain day. If there's going to be like one yellow folder, if there's no news at all, I'll step away completely. I will not even wake up to trade. I will just go on with my day and only focus on red folder news days. If you want to be successful in this industry, you have to be disciplined. You have to recognize when to step away and when to realize when it's okay and when not to trade, because that will save you so much capital and mental capital. And once you have the discipline to do that, man, you can achieve anything you want. If you have that discipline to beat greed and to recognize when you're being greedy and have the discipline to step away, you're going to be successful. And I know there's people out there that want to trade every day, and I get that. I used to be like that too, but if you want to make money in this industry, in trading, you have to follow the rules, and you just have to because it's not going to work your way where you want to trade every day. It's not going to happen like that. Whenever you beat that greed, then you will see success towards trading. This is a prime example right here of what I personally like to see on the higher time frame for me to have a confident clear bias in the market that makes me want to trade. So right here, we retrace back to the daily. Okay, we have this wick. We're kind of, you can't really see it, but we tapped into it and then we're rejecting off of it pretty nice right here in this daily. Zooming in, we have internal sell side swept, right? We have this huge rejection off of the daily candle inside of that weekly. Zooming in a little bit more to the 4 hour, right? We have that internal sell side or internal buy side swept. We have an SMT at these highs inside of an area where we expect to reject. We have this invalidation of a 4 hour fair value gap, a higher time frame PD array, and we have this higher time frame change in the state. So this is a very, very clear bias to me, because it's my model, it's what I use for my bias and for my entries. And right now in price, it's super clear because looking at here, there was no displacement, there was no, yeah, we had this invalidation of this, but there was no displacement. We were just chopping around right here, right? We were just chopping around, there was no displacement, but right here, look at this. This huge candle going through this bullish for value gap and continuing lower, creating the change in the state. We have this huge, we have a bunch of untouched lows right here as well. So we have a lot of room to the downside, and price is telling me based off my model that we want to go lower. So I will be trading hopefully at the end of the late this week and going into June. So we'll see about that. Hopefully it's clear, but yeah. But without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's just a quick video of me going over my thought process on this price action, how I kind of took advantage of it on practicing discipline, how you guys can benefit from it as well, and stuff like that. I hope you guys got something from this, learned from this, and maybe have a different mindset on things now, because that's my goal. I just want to help you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.